Hello and welcome to an evening with Stylosa from Unit Lost. Hi, thank you very much for joining me.
Hello.
How are you today?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Awesome. I guess the first thing we need to really do then is tell everyone here who you are and what you guys do on YouTube for Unit Lost.
Well, okay, we are Unit Lost. I'm Stylosa. I'm one half of Unit Lost. The other half is Kirioth, but he's a filthy part-time. That's why he's not here today. We are. I don't know. It's what is Unit Lost? It's like a. I suppose it's like a mixture between like entertainment videos, gaming videos, that is, and kind of like more informative, opinionated videos. I guess that kind of sums it up, sort of.
So, as you're British,
Indeed, indeed.
I feel like the first real question we need to ask is, how do you take your tea? I noticed you're not even drinking a tea tonight.
No, I've actually had 4 cups of tea today, right? And I haven't actually. Here it is. Hang on, here's my cup. It is not a normal cup. It is massive. Look at it, Mr. T. Right? It is massive. This thing is like twice the size of a normal cup. But yeah, I would take my tea. I like Twinings breakfast blend. This is in a yellow box. Okay. Like 2 level spoons of sugar. But an interesting fact is I can't actually drink milk. So I have to have a thing called oat milk. I don't like soy milk. It's terrible. So then I put that in. But the correct way to do this is to put the tea bag in first, then to put the sugar in, then to put the milk. Sorry, don't put the milk in. Then put the water in and let it stew for a bit. Then put the milk in. That's the correct way.
Yeah.
Anybody who puts milk in first, that is bad.
There's someone at my work that insists on having the milk. And it's like, oh, no, why would you? No, it just doesn't work at all.
No, don't. Like, why would you want the tea bag wet with the milk? I don't understand. Ugh.
It's horrible gopping stuff. Right. So obviously, like Unit Lost, I remember you saying once that came from like Command and Conquer.
The name.
Unit
yeah.
Lost.
Unit Lost.
Which is obviously an awesome series up to a point. Which one was your favourite one out of the whole lot?
Well, I've kind of like, I guess I've got a bit of a story with this because when I was, I think it was 1995, I think it was, Command and Conquer came out. I obviously wasn't very old then, but I can remember one of my uncles playing the game, and I can remember the little obelisk of light, firing the laser and stuff, and that's kind of like one of my earliest like kind of PC gaming memory kind of things going on. But I mean, the name Unit Lost was just like a clever thing we thought would be like a bit of a. Initially, Unit Lost was just going to be a PC gaming channel only, like that's all we was going to do because that's all we did. You know what I mean? So we thought it would be kind of like a clever name that people who are sort of old schoolish PC gamers would kind of relate to. Oh, yeah. Unit Lost, I understand. Now, obviously, whenever I play StarCraft and you look at the Unit Lost tab or you're watching like a some sort of tournament and they go, let's bring up the Unit Lost thing. I'm just like, yep, let's talk about it. Not really, but free advertising. But yeah, that's where it came from. As far as Command and Conquer goes, I think my favourite one is probably. I think it'd be a mix. It's between Red Alert 2 and probably Tiberian Sun because I really did like that.
No,
it's
good
choice. Is Command and Conquer 4. That is an abomination of a game.
See, now 3 and 4, I saw them and I was like, I didn't bother even picking them up, I have to say.
I just looked down here because I used to have like a filing cabinet. I don't know what I've done with it. But it was full of games, but it's got practically every Command and Conquer game in there apart from Red Alert 3 because I don't like that. And Command and Conquer 4 because that's terrible. No. I don't even know what that was. It was just an abomination, like I said. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Although, you know what, talking about, this is just going to turn into a thing about Command and Conquer, but talking about that, the recently cancelled game, Command and Conquer, it was just called Command and Conquer. It was going to be like a free-to-play RTS game. We actually put a gameplay clip of the cancelled game up on the channel.
Yeah, I actually linked that video in one of mine, actually.
Yeah. Well, I actually thought it had some promise. It seemed a bit strange that they decided to cancel that.
Yeah, I was quite gutted about that, actually, because I really... Command & Conquer is one of my favourite series of games from when I was younger, and I was like, a new one, maybe it's going to bring the franchise back, rejuvenise it, and...
Well, it was sort of like a mixture between StarCraft 2 and kind of a free-to-play thing. It would have been interesting to see it develop, but yeah, seems weird that they just cancel it, but there you go.
Something's gone on.
Yeah.
So what made you and Kirioth get into YouTube?
Okay, this is a massive, long story. It is.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so Right, where to begin? Okay, so I am about 17, going on 18 years old, right? I was actually quite a good footballer. I used to play for a team called Port Vale, and I also played for West Brom. Okay. If anybody in England is a football fan, or even worldwide, you'll know who those teams. I mean, West Brom, they're a Premier League team. I was quite good at football. I don't think I would have played like, the highest level, but I think I would have been like maybe in the division below the Premier League or something. Who knows? Something like who knows? But what happened is I got diagnosed with a condition called Crohn's disease, which is like it's irritable bowel disease. Basically, what it is. I won't go into the details because it gets a bit gory. But it just means that when you have periods of time where if you eat things, it kind of comes straight through you. You get no energy. You get like your intestines become inflamed, sort of thing.
Right.
So this was obviously quite a big bombshell for me, like 18. I think I was like 17 and a half, 18 when it started to first happen. I was going on for 19 and 20 when they eventually worked out what was wrong with me. And obviously that had quite a severe impact on me because I've gone from this, person living that life to somebody who needs to now do something totally different. And I can remember going to college. That's where I first met Kiri.
Right.
And we were just doing some generic computer-related stuff. It wasn't really it was a bit basic, I ended up leaving the course. I think Kiri stayed and then went through to university, so we kind of lost touch then for a few years.
Okay.
I then worked for the family business for a bit, okay? Which is, I was basically a tree surgeon, which was quite interesting. But again, the problems with the Crohn's and that, they started to, eat back into me again. And it's like, you want to kind of live a normal life sort of thing. Like I kind of just wanted to ignore that I had this problem, which wasn't a clever thing. So then it came to a point where I really need to sit down and think to myself, what the hell am I going to do? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start selling websites. So that's what I started to do. So I started a business and we started selling websites. It was all fancy because we sold websites to, what do they call them? SMEs, small to medium-sized enterprises. Okay. We actually did a website for a biscuit wholesaler, which was amazing. I'm not even making that up. It was amazing. But I got, Kiri had left university at the time. And I said to him, do you want to come into business with me after I'd started it for, a couple of months? And he said, you know what, I will. So then we sort of went together into that. And it was pretty successful. But it sort of, I think it was at the right time to be doing that because a lot of other stuff started happening where people, like businesses kind of wanted websites for nothing. They wasn't really prepared to pay for a proper bespoke website. They would, a couple £100 here and then it wouldn't really cover our costs. So we knew time was short-lived. So we needed to do something. But luckily enough, we made a decent amount off it. So we could kind of do something a bit crazy. And that is the point. I think this is like 2011. This would have been. I started playing StarCraft 2. And I was a total noob. But then I found a channel on YouTube. The guy was called Crota. He was a shoutcaster for, I think he still does it, for Blizzard games like Warcraft 3 and stuff. And I'd never seen shoutcasting in my life at all. And I was completely like taken in by this guy. I'd watch all of his videos, like all of his strategies for, watch these pro gamers try and get better at the game. And then from that, we started seeing things like Jesse Cox and Total Biscuit with the Cataclysm videos. And I said to Kiri, you know what? Maybe we could do something on YouTube because we had tried during the. I'm waving this thing at you. This is the HDMI converter thing for an iPad.
Just play about,
I've lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so hang on. What was I saying?
Total Biscuit, Jesse, Cataclysm and stuff.
Yeah, so when we were doing the website thing, we actually had a website on unitlost.com. That was a PC gaming news website thing, kind of like a rock, paper, shotgun or something. But we're terrible at writing, so there was a problem with that. And I said to him, this is never going to take off. And he's like, no, it's not. I says, but look, YouTube, like these gaming channels, at most had probably only been around for 2 years at that point. Most of them only like a year and a half or something like that. I said, maybe we can jump on this. So then we just decided to start doing Unit Lost. And it took about, I'd say, till the end of 2011. I think we got a machinima partnership then. Before we sort of understood what we were doing. Because, I went into this absolutely knowing nothing. I didn't know how to, edit videos, didn't know how to record videos, didn't know anything. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is a this is a bit of advice. Do not drop out of school or give up your job or anything like that to start a YouTube channel. It will not work, right? It was okay for me to do that because, like I said, we had like enough in savings to get us rolling. We knew we could go for 2 years and that would be fine, without actually earning anything. I don't think many people can say that. So I've seen people go, I'm going to leave college or whatever, and I'm going to go make a YouTube channel. No. Do not do that.
Bad idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'll just. I mean, you may get lucky, but it's very unlikely. You will probably die of stress, most likely.
Especially nowadays, I guess, when there's just so much about on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
So you're saying you two met in college then?
Yeah.
So was there any sort of story behind the meeting, or was it just literally just the same class, or can you remember anything?
No, it was just the same class. I can remember because at the time I was doing biology, chemistry, and physics and maths at A level, right, which was quite difficult. But what happened is I sort of looked at that and I thought, I'm not really going to get much of a job after this. What am I going to do? So I wasn't enjoying it. Get lost. Let's go do something computer related at college. I can remember walking into, I don't know whether this was the first lesson or one of the first lessons. And I remember him leaning up the wall with like some leather biker jacket thing on with like chains on him. And I was like, what the hell? But yeah, that's what, he was just in the same class. So I just sort of become friends. That was it.
Okay. So, With that then, obviously you've got into gaming and everything. So what game coming up are you most looking forward to?
Oh, I am looking forward to Witcher 3, which is next year. I've really enjoyed the Witcher games. They're like very adult RPG games. They are, the previous ones are very linear, although this one is supposed to be open world, which I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that.
So it's one of the series I've never actually bothered to get into, actually. You reckon the first two are worth looking at?
The second, well, the first one doesn't really hold up too well. It's kind of old now. I mean, okay, the story, the dialogue, and the rest of it's okay, but the actual mechanics and the graphics are not the best. So it is sort of, Witcher 2 still is to this day quite graphically impressive, but it's very linear. It's like you go this way, you go this way, you go this way, and that's it. There are some choices you can make, but it's not the best in that regard. But like I said, Witcher 3 is supposed to be this big open world thing where you can do whatever you like. So I am really looking forward to that. And also, I'm looking forward to Dark Souls 2, which is something I don't think I would ever have said before. Okay. Because for a long time, we were elitist PC gamers, right? Both me and Kiri. Like, my console experience is very limited. I mean, I had a PlayStation 1. I had a SNES. I had an Amiga 500 when I was a little kid, which actually, you know what? I'll send you a picture of that. It's on our Facebook page. It's so good. It's me as a kid playing the Amiga. It's amazing. And then I got a PC after the PlayStation 1. So this was like 97-ish, I think it was.
Now.
Yeah, and I've had a PC ever since, which I think is kind of a bit unique for somebody, I guess, in the UK, with it being like more of a console culture at that time anyway. But yeah, I've totally lost the bloody plot here. What the hell was where was this point going? What was the question?
the question was, what game are you looking forward to? And you were going on about Witcher and Dark Souls 2.
Yes, I'm getting there. So Dark Souls comes out. There's a big petition. Get it on PC. Blah 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 blah. I got it. I installed it, and it just did not work on PC. Like, they had the most horrendous control scheme ever with a mouse and keyboard. Like, it didn't work. And it was like locked at 30 frames per second, which is like atrocious. I wanted it at 100 frames per second as it could get out and all this shit. I didn't have a controller either, right? I didn't have an Xbox controller or anything like that. So I just hated it. Didn't want to play it. Then, about a year later, met a guy on YouTube called Rurikhan, which we do a live stream. Well, we do a live stream with him on every Wednesday on our Twitch channel. And he got me into Dark Souls. He said, you've just got to play it. It's a great game. And I started playing it, and it's such a strange game. It's like, I don't know, I've just become addicted to it. So from that, I'm really looking forward to Dark Souls 2. But yeah, I would never have said that before if, I hadn't have met this guy on YouTube and he said, go ahead and really give it a go. Get an Xbox controller. It's definitely worth it. And it was.
So I guess that sort of leads into sort of the next gen consoles then. Are you planning on getting either the PS4 or the Xbox One?
Yeah, I've got a PlayStation 4 on pre-order, so whenever that decides to turn up, I think they are supposed to be dispatched on the 20. Well, I think they released on the 22nd, I think, of November
It's
in the
the
UK.
29th, I think.
29th now.
Yeah, yeah.
Who knows when mine will come? But this will be the first time I will be there at the start of a console generation, so I kind of am looking forward to it. Um, but we'll see where that goes. Because, well, one of the things I kind of like, I think looking at myself, I kind of need to be a little bit more like open-minded when it comes to other stuff instead of just being this like not elitist, but like I don't give a crap about consoles, yada yada yada. I don't really want to play this. I mean, I've got a an Xbox 360. Well, it's actually Kirioth's Xbox 360, and I played Grand Theft Auto 5 on that. Now that's the only game I've played on it really, and I was quite impressed. I mean, it looked terrible, but I was quite impressed with the game. And I thought, this is not too bad. But yeah, I am looking forward to the PlayStation 4. Possibly, we might get an Xbox One as well.
Okay.
Although that'd be something further down the line, because I mean, obviously, it depends if we can actually do anything with it. So.
I think the issue with the PS4 at the moment is just the lineup's so garbage.
Yeah, that's the problem. And in fact, have you seen the Polygon review of the PlayStation 4?
No, I haven't actually.
It's terrible. I think they give it like a 7.5, which I don't agree with review scores anyway. But they give it a 7.5, and the critique was it doesn't have any games. Well, fuck me. It's a console that's just come out. It's like, what kind of argument is that? It's terrible. But yeah, I've seen some stuff with hardware problems people have been having with it overheating and stuff like that.
I've heard a couple have been bricked already, which isn't good, but I suppose that's quite a low percentage.
Yeah, I guess it's to be expected, I suppose, with any kind of bit of electronics, I suppose.
But, okay, so jumping into the future then. So if there was one thing that you could find out about the future, what do you think it would be? Like it could be anything about your personal life, or what we'd invent in the world, or how the world would end. Anything, just a single thing.
You know what? I would really, if I could go forward in time, 10 years or so, I would be very interested to see the state of something like YouTube, or what's happened to people as a result of YouTube, because it's like a very volatile place to be. You don't really if you think of it this way, imagine you're at loss of business and you're making like videos on YouTube. Yeah, you don't actually know what YouTube is going to do next, or what's going to come down the line. You just don't know. I mean, hell, you've seen the comment integration crap on YouTube. It just comes out of nowhere. Nobody knows about this stuff. Because I mean, a lot of people seem to think that, big networks get told information. People, like your big YouTube channels, know this and that. Nobody knows anything. They just do what they like. So I don't know. I'd like to see possibly some sort of competitor to YouTube, which is why I kind of like Twitch at the moment. But obviously that's like a live streamy thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also I'd like to see what happens with things like Oculus Rift as well in the future. How that turns up. The VR goggles, that type of stuff.
Have you tried the
No, I haven't. No.
See, it was at Eurogamer this year.
Yeah.
And so it's quite surreal when you sort of put it on. And I was playing one of these warfighting planes. I think it was called War Thunder or something like that.
Yeah.
So you're just there in the cockpit and you just look in either side and you're like, I've got all the console and the wings, and it's like. But the one thing that ruined it for me a bit was the motion sickness. Like, I think about 2 hours afterwards, I was still feeling motion sick because they just haven't quite got it all in there. But
well, I think for me as well, I've got these things, glasses.
Yeah.
So that's a problem with something like that on my face. Although I think there's some sort of inserts you get for it. I don't know, like lens inserts or something they were saying.
There was like these sort of lenses that go in. It's like 3 at the moment they've got.
Yeah.
And I think they were talking about having prescription lenses at some point, so you'd be able to whack those in. But yeah, that's definitely something that I'm quite interested in the future. I think in the future there's a mass zombie apocalypse. What would your weapon of choice be?
Right, so it would have to be something reusable, which. And like I said before, I am a bit of a tree surgeon, so I'm quite handy with an axe. So, like, you can get really good axes, right? You can get axes that are axe sledgehammers, so it's a sledgehammer and an axe in one. That would be quite useful. Oh, God. Chainsaws are no good. Right. And in fact, I'll tell you about chainsaws while they're no good. And they would be absolutely horrendous in any kind of zombie apocalypse thing. You know, you see in a film, somebody runs in with a chainsaw, and they're like, chainsaw somebody in half, and it's like, yeah. No. A chainsaw, if I come at you with a chainsaw and rammed it into your guts, you'd die, right? But the chainsaw would rip your skin off. Like, it would pull, like, big, like, oh, it'd be horrible. Like, your skin would be ripped off. But it would get stuck inside the chainsaw, and the chainsaw would stop working. So you couldn't run around chainsawing people. You like chainsaw one person.
Single-use thing.
Yeah. It's more of an intimidation thing. But yeah, I think I'd use my axe sledgehammer, which would be quite axe sledgehammer. I don't think that's its name, but it's like it's an axe head,
axe, and then a sledgehammer,
and then a sledgehammer on the back of the axe. Amazing.
So I always thought like a ice pick or an ice climbing pick would be quite cool, but
bit too short range though.
And the other thing is they're designed to stick in stuff, aren't they? So
yeah,
again, it would just fit.
Yeah.
Oh bugger. If you were stranded on an island, like so you've got food, you've got water, and you've got shelter. Okay, so what one thing could you not go without?
I suppose the obvious answer is the internet, but I don't know. You know what? Oh my god! I think the only. I don't know, actually, because, I mean, what would be the point of taking my PC if I had no internet connection? It's like, maybe this desert island is by one of them transcontinental fibre optic cables, and somehow I could tap into it. If it was, with some massive network cable, then I would take my PC. But without the internet, it's just no good. So I don't know. It probably...
You don't.
Oh, my God. I suppose it would have to be the internet. That's kind of a crap answer, but it would have to be the internet.
Just the internet.
When I go on holiday, right, I cannot, like, I just can't comprehend not being connected to the internet. It's just terrible. You know, it's like I'd be one of these people who go on holiday and take my iPad with me, if I could, and just sit there on the beach with it. It's like, what is that, you know? But that's just how it is. I don't know. It would have to be the internet. That would be the only thing I could not live without. And if I did not have that in my life, I honestly do not know what the hell I would do.
Yeah, I suppose it's got to the situation now that, like, if the internet goes down, people are just like, what do I do? What is this? It's horrible, I guess.
Get my phone out and turn on the 3G hotspot and then connect to it wireless on my PC so I've got some access. That's what I do. So bad. Or try and get the next door neighbours wireless. Anything.
This is another one, so a bit jumping back in time then. If there was one time in history that you could have personally witnessed, what would you have wanted to have seen?
I cannot believe that World War II, or even World War One for that fact, or that matter, even happened. Like, to me, that is such an interesting period of history. Like, I'm completely addicted to things like World at War, which is like an amazing documentary series for World War II. Made more than a few years after. I think it was made in the late 60s, I think. So most of the people who were alive in the war were still alive then. They could be interviewed on it. Really good. I would really like to see something like the D-Day landings going on. Obviously, I'd need to be quite far away from that. I would not want to be on the beach or anything. But I just cannot honestly comprehend that even happened. It's just so like mind-blowing to me. I'd really like to see something like that. And also though, I do like ancient Egypt as well. When my sister was, I think it was her 21st birthday, this was a few years ago, I took her to Egypt and we went and seen the pyramids, and we went to a place called Luxor, which is like in the middle of Egypt where the Valley of the Kings is, and all the rest of the stuff. Like, the idea of the trip was just to go and see all of the major, you know, like archaeological sites. And that was very interesting. So I don't know, I would like to see that civilization, the height of its power. No. Because I mean, there's actually an interesting fact that hang on, let me see if I can get this right. We are as far away, this is it. We are as far away in history from the Romans as the Romans were as far away from the ancient Egyptians building the Great Pyramid. So that puts it in perspective. I think that was like 4000 BC or something.
Yeah.
I might be getting this wrong, but that was like a crazy fact I read somewhere. I don't know whether it's true or not, but...
Is that a QI fact or something?
It might be, actually. It might be a QI fact. That's probably what I've seen.
But the pyramids always seem just like these mammoth structures that the people just massive. Don't know how they managed to do it still. They can't figure it out.
I mean, I was like, okay, I expect the pyramid to be the Great Pyramid to be fairly big.
Hmm.
It was absolutely massive. Although I've got an overriding memory of that place of horse manure. The place absolutely stunk of it. You got these guys going around on horses and camels, right? And if you look at them, they come over to you and they just demand money off you, and they like pen you in with a camel. So you're like, what? Okay, take my money. Crazy, but yeah, very, very impressive. We also went into one of the smaller pyramids. It was 50 degrees centigrade in Cairo, outside in this place. Oh my God, I almost died. It was terrible. I've never been anywhere so hot. 50 degrees it was that day. I don't know what that is on the what was the American scale?
Fahrenheit.
30 degrees or something. I don't know.
No one uses that.
No, who uses that? But yeah, that was, oh God, that was hot. But yeah, I'd like to see ancient Egypt, and I'd like to see. I'd like to have been there when certain events in World War II were going on, especially things like the D-Day landings, and possibly it would have been. Well, no, this is a bit weird. It would not have been nice to see nuclear weapons dropped on Japan, but it would have been like impressive to have seen it. But I don't know how I could have seen it, because it would have burnt my retinas out of my face, my eyes, and I'd be dead of radiation sickness of some sort.
Okay, so all the worst parts of history. Cool, awesome.
Yeah, basically.